Hi Stampers, it's Nancy Novak. Welcome to my YouTube video. If you're watching me live, say hi. If you're watching me on repeat, go ahead and type in repeat, say hi, ask your questions, whatever you'd like. This video is for you, so tonight I'm going to share with you a couple of cards that I made using, let me bring it out here, the Sweet Songbirds stamp set. And it has a coordinating punch, so that always makes card making so much quicker and easier. So I'll show you how to do that, and let's see what else. I think that's it. We're going to get started. Let me show you the cards real quick. So this one has its little birdhouse. So happy you're here. And this one, I used the little tags. And it says, a little birdie told me you've got something to celebrate. So yeah, this stamp set has a coordinating punch for the big bird, and then it's got the stamp for the little bird, which faces the other way, so it's nice for creating a little scene. And it's got the branch, and it's got the leaves and the nest, and it's got the little music notes, and it's got some great sentiments. It's got welcome, congratulations, it's your special day, a little birdie told me, a little note of thanks. So it covers a lot of occasions. And of course, you can always use a different sentiment from a different stamp set. So anyway, and I'm also using the new in color called Sweet Sorbet. I've been using that a lot, so I might have to stop myself. I might be a little addicted, but it does make some pretty cards. So let's get started. We'll make this one first. And so I have my card base in the Sweet Sorbet, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. And then for my matte pieces, I'm using Starry Sky, and then my little stamping pieces are in the white. And I'm going to have all the dimensions on my blog. It's www.stampandshout.com. So if I miss telling you something or a size or something like that, it will be in writing right there, and the colors and everything else that you need, shopping links. But the matte pieces are, let me look at my notes, they're 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And if you don't like working in eighths, you can just round that off. So you could make it 5 by 3 and, what is that, 5 by 3 3/4. But anyways, I'm using 4 7/8 by 3 5/8 for my matte. And then for the stamping piece, that is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. So just a 1/4 of an inch difference. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring in a scrap, and I'm going to stamp my little bird. And I'm going to stamp this one in Sweet Sorbet. So whenever I'm stamping and using a punch, I kind of look at which way my punch is going, and I kind of stamp my scrap piece of paper the same way, so I know it's going to be easily punched. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more this week when I give you a few more hints on using punches. So we're just going to stamp that. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this stamp off because I don't want to forget, because we're going to stamp it again for our next card in a different color. So now I just have to bring in my punch. And I like using strips too, scraps that are strips. That way it fits in here nice and easy, and you don't waste a lot of paper. So as you can see, this is going to punch out really nicely. So there we go. And it also punches all the other pieces, but I'm going to do them individually, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So let me see, let me bring in a scrap here. And I'm going to bring in his wing, and I'm going to stamp a wing. And again, I'm going to look at the punch, and that's the little wing that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp right down here, and I'm going to stamp it in the same direction as the punch. And I'm actually going to stamp it, and then I'm going to stamp off, just because I want a little bit lighter look. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it in my punch and line it up. And then we have our wing. And you could also punch out the beak if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. So let me close up this. And I've been stamping the beak in Pale Papaya. So let me bring that in. That little stamp is really, really tiny. And if you're doing this directly over your bird, it's easy to line this up. So I'm a little bit cockeyed here because of my camera and I don't want to get my head in here all the way, but it's with the polymer stamps, it's really, really easy to line up. And I did pretty good on that one. So let's see here. I'm going to clean that wing off because like I said, we're going to use that again. Now I'm bringing in this little tummy part. And actually I need that sweet sorbet one more time. And I'm going to stamp it up. And I'm going to stamp off. Now I'm going to stamp it on his belly. There you go. And now we're going to stamp his eyes. And this stamp set comes with 2 sets of eyes. So you can have wide open eyes, or you can have cute little eyes that are kind of closed and it looks like it's singing or whatever. But for this one, I'm going to use the 2 little dots. Just like that. Let me give you a close-up on that. And we'll go ahead and attach that wing. And I'm just going to attach that with a little bit of glue. So our bird is ready for our card, and I'll tell you why I wanted to create the bird first as we continue, excuse me, building our card. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in our stamping piece, which is that big white piece, and I'm going to bring in a couple more scraps. I have a Starry Sky square and a parakeet party square. So this is going to be the roof, and that's 1 and, let me see, what did I say? That's 1.5 inch square, and then this is 1 1/4 square. So on this one, I'm just going to cut corner to corner to create my roof, and you can do it on your cutter. It's really easy. You just line up your corners. You can draw a line like I just did, and then just cut it corner to corner. So that's going to be our roof. And then that parakeet party square, that's going to be the birdhouse. And then I already cut out a little heart. And I want to tell you where I got this heart from. The heart is from the Give It a Whirl dies. This die set is awesome. I use it for everything. It's got hearts of different sizes. It's got stars. It's got the little banner cut. And of course you can make your fun Give It a Whirl cards, you know, that twirl. It's got circles in here that are fancy. So it's got little squares for sentiments. So it's pretty versatile stamp set. But again, it does have the hearts with the little stitching and the stars, which I've been using a lot. So let me just glue this together and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right up the top of my square here. And every time I put glue on, if I don't want it squirting out, I kind of just reach over and I'm blotting it off on my little silicone mat. So I got enough glue on there, and I'm going to go ahead and put my house on, or my roof, and then I'm just going to make sure it's even. There. Then I'm going to put my little heart on. That's a little opening for him. He's got a cute little doorway to get into his birdhouse. Okay, so there, our birdhouse is done. That's my dog talking to me. You have to be quiet. I'm on the video right now. Okay, so now the reason I wanted all that done was now we're going to start stamping the background, and I just want to line up the branches spaciously so everything fits. So I'm going to do the branches in Early Espresso. So I'm going to bring in my branch stamp, and I'm going to kind of put my house where I think I want it to go. Ink that up in Early Espresso, and I'm just going to put half of the branch on the upper right side over here, like that. And ink that up again. I'm going to kind of put my bird where I think I want it to be. And now I'm going to go ahead and I can move my house out of the way. I can move my bird out of the way. It's just to give me just a little idea of where I want those to go, so everything fits. I don't want to stamp my branch up too high and then my bird will be off the paper. So we'll clean this up. So I'm also using my little chamois, which I totally love for cleaning off my stamps. Now we're going to do some leaves. So we're going to bring in this leaf stamp, and it's got 5 little leaves on here. But before I do that, since I have my Early Espresso out, I think I'm going to stamp my little sign holder. I'm just looking for another stamping block. So this stamp set has a little teeny tiny line, and I'm going to use that to put my little lines, my little strings that are going to hold my welcome sign. Okay, so just wanted to get that done. Now I can put the Early Espresso away. I'm going to use that again in a second, so I might as well keep on going here. Next I'm going to stamp, before I do my leaves, since I have everything out. I'm going to stamp my little sign right there. I'm going to stamp that on a scrap, and I'm using crumb cake because I'm going to stamp the welcome over it, and I don't want it to be too dark. So let me bring in a scrap here. Like that. And then I'm just going to fussy cut this out, which is obviously very easy. It's just a rectangle. Okay, now with my Early Espresso, I'm going to go ahead and, I gotta find it, stamp the welcome on my sign. Doing that in a little bit darker color of Early Espresso so it shows up nice. And our sign will go right there. But now we have to do our leaves. So I'm going to do those in Parakeet Party. So we'll put these away. So I'm going to try to be here every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. And been having a lot of requests to get back on here and show you guys some of my card creations and how I make them. So Tuesdays at 7 I will be here. But you can always watch the replay. You don't have to be here live, but I would appreciate it because it's so much more fun when people are here commenting and asking questions. So I'm just stamping here and there, and you don't have to be careful with this. You can overlap because it really looks nice that way. It looks like a real tree leaf that way, you know, it's just the way they're all every way in nature. Kind of put your bird here and look at it and see if you need any more. And I think I'm going to put a couple more down here. So you just flip your, just like that. Okay, so our sign's going to go there, our house is going to go there, our bird's going to go there. But before we do that, we're going to run it through the embossing folder, and I used the Time Worn 3D folder. So we're just going to take that, it's all stamped, ready to go, and going to run it through the embossing machine. But I already have that done because I didn't want to make you guys wait. So there's the one I did earlier, and as you can see, it's embossed, and it just really looks, I just love embossing. It's just such a subtle feature to add. Now we're going to build this up, and I'm going to bring in some dimensionals, and we're going to pop this up. So I'm going to put my birdhouse right up there like it's hanging from that tree branch. So we'll put a couple dimensionals on there. We'll put a couple on this bird. And on our sign. So put that right up there. Just make sure it doesn't go off, whoops, doesn't go off the edge of the white. And then we'll put our bird up here. And then our welcome sign. Like that. And now put our card together. So we'll glue this onto our Starry Sky mat. Dab off a little bit of extra glue there. Cute, cute. And then we'll put this on the card front. I like this, the layout with the big sweet sorbet border. Really shows off the pretty card stock. We'll center that. And then somewhere, oh, I got a little twine bow. It's actually that's the shoot, what's that called? The linen thread. So I made a double bow out of the linen thread. I just tied it like you tie a regular bow, nothing fancy. And my glue dots are a mess. I think I'm running out of glue dots. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can find one in this. Well, let me see. No way. There's always one left. All right, gotta get my new glue dots out. And we'll put a glue dot right on that linen thread bow. I thought the linen thread was nice for the birds because it kind of reminds you of when they make their nests. Now there. Okay, let's do the inside. We're just going to stamp "So Happy You're Here." So let me bring in the early espresso. So like I said, if you're making this as a baby card, I mean the primary colors that I'm using I think are great for a little boy, but I got to show you this little girl one I made. You're just going to love it. But first, I got to glue this, finish this card. Again, blop that off. And then we'll put that on the inside of our card. So if this is your first time visiting my station, my video channel, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you click subscribe, and if you click that little notification bell, whenever I do a video, you'll be notified. So you'll be sure to not miss any. So there you go. Now, want to see the girl card I made? Isn't that cute? So this is, oh my goodness, what is this? This is the polished pink cardstock, and then Gorgeous Grape is the base, and Highland Heather is the little bird house. And I didn't finish this one yet on the inside, but this is going to a little baby girl. She's born, I don't know, she might be born already. She was born, I think today's her due date, so we'll see if she's going to be late or early or come visit us. I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, little girl card. But I think they're both perfect for little babies. Or if you have someone moving into your neighborhood, it's a nice little card to welcome them. While I'm showing you cards, let me show you this one here. So this is one that I made this probably a month ago when the new colors just came out. So I have all the new colors here. So let's see, we have Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Orchid Oasis. And a little birdie told me. So it's a nice way to put it on your slimline cards. Okay, next card's up. Here we go. So I started off just making a tag. In fact, this is another thing I made with the stamp set. Let me put it here so you can see it. It's just a little tag for a baby gift. It says, "Welcome little one," and I put the bird in the nest. So I started making some more tags, and I decided to turn it into a card. So for this, again, I'm using the Sweet Sorbet card base, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And the Starry Sky mats. Now these are a little bit smaller, so let's see. This mat is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and this is 3 by 4. So I got one for the inside, one for the front. The white piece on the front, I embossed it with the gingham embossing folder. So we can go ahead and attach that right now. And we can go ahead and put that on our card front. Right in the center. And again, we have a nice big border to show off those pretty colors. And then, let's see, let's go ahead and stamp our bird. And this bird is going to be in Parakeet Party. Everything gets to be a mess as I go along here. Okay, so Parakeet Party. Nice. Let me clean that off real quick. And let's see here. For this one, let's do the other eyes for this one. Let me find them here in my stamp set. They're so tiny, you gotta be careful you don't lose them. Okay, so these are the eyes that look like they're closed. I'll do that in the memento. Cute. Isn't that funny how the eyes just make such a big difference? It just makes the bird come alive. And again, I need to stamp a little wing for him. So let's bring in a scrap. This is going to be stamped in the Parakeet Party, and again, you got to look at your punch so you can see which way. And I'm going to stamp over here because I don't want it real dark, and it's just a real little light wing. I might want it darker. I'll see in a second. Let's see. If I do this, let me just stamp another one, it'd be easier. Oh, I think I want it darker. Punch that out. And then when you punch it, it's got that little bit of a white border, so it's easy enough to see. And I think I like that one actually. I don't know, both cute. I'll do the darker one. So you could attach it with a glue dot if you want, or just a little bit of glue. Like that. And punch them out. Oh, you know what? I did that backwards. I didn't punch him out first. If I punched him out now, he'd lose his wing. Okay, so I'm putting him in and it doesn't fit right because there's a little bit too much cardstock there. It's blocking it, so you just trim it off. And go ahead and line it up. And punch it out. Back on there. Okie doke. Get rid of some of the scraps. Okay, so now for the tag, I used the Taylormade Tag Die Set, and it has the different sizes, 4 different sizes with the scallop top, and it has 4 different sizes with a square top. So you can make all sizes of tags for your gifts. So I cut one out. This is the 22-24 Designer Series paper. Let me show you really quick. It's a 6x6 Designer Series paper, and it comes in all the 5 in colors, and it has different patterns on it. So I cut one out in the Sweet Sorbet, and then one in the Starry Sky. Then I cut one out in white. This is actually the same size. I didn't go down one size smaller for my card for this. And then I ran that through the time-worn 3D embossing folder, gives it some texture. And then I cut one out in the tiniest size, and that's going to be for my sentiment. And I'm going to let my dog out real quick. Come on, let's go. And continue on. So I think I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Starry Sky. When I made it the first time, I think I did it, or I know I did it in the black, but I want to try it in the Starry Sky and see how it looks. So let me find, I know you're here somewhere. A little bird told me. Where did you go? Put it away. Okay, so put that on a block. And we'll ink this up. And I'm going to stamp this over to the right of this tag so it's not hidden when we put it all together and put that bow on. Oh yeah, I like it better in the Starry Sky. Okay, so then all I did was put the tag together, and I just kind of positioned it and then glued it where I wanted it to go. Kind of jig-jagged it a little bit. And let me just put a little bit of glue here to hold it. And this is all I did. I lined up the holes and I kind of made it go off center a little bit. Same thing with this one. So I'm putting some glue on the side that is going to meet. Just lined it up again like that. And then this last one I'm going to kind of wait just to make sure that I position it where I want. So we can bring this in like this. This is going to go here, and our bird is going to go here. So I'm going to put the sentiment on last and the bow on last, just so I make sure it's all lined up the way I want. And then one other thing. I am going to stamp his feet. And you just have to be really careful because I'm stamping it on embossed paper. So sometimes it might, I wouldn't stamp a sentiment on here, but the feet I think are going to work out okay. So I'm just going to kind of stamp them here at the bottom. And I might have to line that up. I might have to take my little black pen and fix those feet a little bit. I kind of lifted up my stamp a little bit too quick, but I can fix that. In fact, let me get my pen. I bet I don't have a black one. I do. So just got to kind of play with this a little bit. And I could have done it before, I just wasn't sure where to line it up. But it's going to be fine. I'm going to kind of put that bird down nice and low. And I'm going to pop that up with dimensions. So in hindsight, if I were doing this again, now that I know that the feet have to be in that bottom left corner, I would go ahead and stamp those feet and then emboss it. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this and pop it up. And I'm putting a few extra on here because it's kind of thick. I don't want it sagging too much. Well, I don't want it sagging at all. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this right there. And I'm just going to glue this on up here at the top. Like that. And somewhere I had a bow and it got lost. So I'm gonna have to make a new one. Oh, I found it, haha. Okay, so there we go. We'll put that on with a glue dot. If I can find my glue dots again, I just had them. Oh, here they are. It's so funny how easily things get lost. Okay, so inside we're going to bring the Starry Sky stamp pad. And this sentiment says, "You've got something to celebrate." So let's glue these together and put them on the inside of our card. So you all know celebration is going on now, right? Don't want to forget about that. That means when you make a purchase of $50, you get to choose something out of the celebration catalog. And that's only why supplies last. So usually I don't think there's much of a problem, but it's always nice to make sure you know that. And this goes right in the center on the inside of our card. And again, it's showing off that pretty cardstock. So, a little bird told me, "You've got something to celebrate." So there are your two cards. And then again, the little girl card, done in different colors. Same card, just different colors. Whoop, let's move it up here in the camera a little bit better. So I hope you liked tonight's cards, and again, if you have any questions, please leave a comment here, or you can always reach me on my blog. you can email me, and stampandshout.com is where you will see all the information, more photos, and shopping supplies if you're interested. So thanks so much for being here. I will see you. I will actually try to be here this Thursday, because I am going to do Thursday tips and techniques. So watch for that, and I will see you next Tuesday at 7 to make some more cards. Don't be shy.